What's up, y'all? This is Rom coming back at you with yet another car video after a week, huh? Yeah, back into it. But anyway, only a small portion of men really understands what it's like to get sex for free. Only a small portion, because it's always somebody hit me up. Well, everybody got paid. Well, they got paid on the dark back end and all of that. That's their world. And that's a bigger world, because let's just be real. Women, for a lot of men, the only way they get women, they got to spend some money on the woman. But they think, and they probably have friends that do, but they think this is everyone. Remember, women interact with a man in several different ways. One woman, like in my book, Sexual Chemistry, I talked about a woman that interacted with 4 different men. One was a gamesman type. So she tried to, he tried to get with her. She just straight played him, gave him a wrong number and all of that. And he ain't had much going on. Wait, hold on a second. All right. So that was one. The other one, total nice guy thing. Total nice guy. And she friend zoned him enough. The other one, oh yeah, he spent some money and everything. She gave him some after a while, but she still really wasn't feeling him that way. She was kind of, it was all about his status and all of that. Yeah. And even that's a small group. Because if a man going to really, really influence a woman with his money, if she's going to influence him, if he's going to influence her with his money, only a small group of men can do that. Women got their own money. And then you got Mr. Goodbar, because in that same scenario, she got with a guy working in her office. She making more money. He was just a clerk. He was a mailroom guy. Shit, he was the mailroom guy. And she got with him even though she was making significantly more money. Look, the reality is this. When women want to have sex, all the man had to do was just show up. Shoot, she will pay for the motel room. Hell, I've had that. Hell, even in recent years, I had that. Even in recent years, the woman paid. Or they'll just come over to your spot. You ain't spend nothing. Recent years as well. Ain't spend 1 penny. Because a lot of guys, that's all they know. Because unfortunately, a lot of men who should really be called, if you're going to use that pill analogy, blue pill, think, oh, you got to have money to get on women. Please. Some of you guys like jumping and talking about female nature and everything. That's part of their nature. They have sex for free. Because they want the sex. Hell, they'll buy the man something. Let's just be real. Let's be real. When you get like these women, they just horny. Especially at the college age, young age, shoot, they just want to have fun. And even in relationships, you get plenty of women, they making more money than them men. That man don't have to bring anything. You be surprised out here. See, I knew this dude, he was in you could just say he was in a good position. His wife was still making more money. Shit. What she need his shit for? If a woman want a guy, especially in these days. And it's really been that way. Like I keep telling y'all, listen to those blues songs. Shit, talking about that backdoor man. Or talk about the milkman and stuff. That was some real stuff. That's why they say, is it the milkman's baby? Because they knew how women were getting down. Shit. And, and I always push this for one reason. That's been my experience. I ain't had money like I told you. This really the first time in my life I had money to spend like that. Shit. Because I remember, when I was getting pussy thrown at me. I was living at my grandmother's. Even when I got my own spot, I wasn't spending that much money. Really, nothing, really. I ain't gonna say that much. Well, let's put it like this on her. want her, even when I could afford to pay like something. Because if women want you, if a woman, it's a woman's nature, she wants you. She just wants your presence and everything. And for the smart asses who always say, well, she's taking up your time, she's giving you hers. Fair exchange is no robbery. You ever think about that? She's spending her time. She going out of her way. Shoot, hell, she might fix you a plate. How much money she had to spend, like, to make that plate, make that food? Shit. Because if a woman wants you, she'll pay. If a woman truly wants you, she'll pay. She'll buy you gifts. Hell, I remember my oldest son when he was in school, middle school. He kept bringing all this candy home. Little girls were giving him candy, because he sure as hell wasn't giving it to them. He cheap like his daddy. Seriously, he spends very little money. He spends as little as he can. Shoot. Women be spending way more on a small group of men. But see, a lot of guys don't get it. But see, understand something. If that's your perspective and that's your reality, okay. Everybody don't have that same reality. Shoot, some guys, even with money, can't get no women. That's a reality. Some men, they got a scavenger. They got to be a scavenger about it. That's their reality. Some men get women fighting over them, throwing them the pussy, coming over, knocking on their door late at night. And they ain't spend one penny. Because the women just wanted some. Seriously. Because if you understand that about women, you understand who they're going to mess with. You know? But see, a lot of guys want to think their reality is the same. But like I explained in my book, Nice Guys and Plays, I mean, I start the book off talking about it. You had the one guy, Larry. He the good guy and stuff. You know, helped in the community, willing to wait for her to have sex. Okay, that's one reality. But then you had Patrick, you know, she sent him that text. He come over after Larry done took her out. Larry get like a little peck. Larry think he doing something. Then Patrick come over and tore her ass up. He ain't spend no money. Understand that. And women will even marry that type of man. There's a whole lot of men out here. The reality is they're women making the money. And the man just doing whatever. All he had to do is keep up the dick. So where is he spending the money? Let's just keep it a buck. Now, it's only a small group. Let's just be real with it. And not just to say even every man got to spend money, because the reality is, like I said, some men, they can have money. And they ain't getting none. It ain't sexy to the woman. They in the non-select categories. The best they can do is catch the right woman who just got that mindset where she'll get down with the dude. That's the best they can do. That's the best they can do. And it is what it is. It's just a reality, because one of the things, and I've seen that before. I remember this one player I knew. He was with a group of guys. He was telling them about a threesome he had. And the guys in there who never had a threesome, they like, oh, that don't happen. Say, no, it don't happen to you. Understand something. If you hear somebody talking about something that you didn't experience, don't assume that they lying. You know? Or don't assume. You just didn't have the experience. Or maybe no one in your crew had the experience. But if you get around some real stud type of dudes, hump type of dudes, or some dudes with just, they got that serious game, they'll tell you all the time. It's like a normal thing with them. Indeed, one of the things that I talked about is when women cheat. Who do they cheat with? They don't always cheat with the man with some money. A lot of guys think they do. But if you take an honest look, it be that broke dude who just, he don't even know you have a decent body and shit. It might be a broke dude with 10 inches on him or something. And that's all the woman wants. And especially in this day and age, And I addressed this on my Patreon today. I'm addressing a lot of stuff if you want to go deeper on my $20 level on Patreon. And the beauty is, if you signed up today or the end of the month, they don't charge you right away like they used to. They won't charge you again until, if you sign up to 28th today, they won't charge you again until December 28th. But I talk about it there. But what I talked about today, some women just want some dick. And they'll do long term. There's a whole lot of women, they got some long-term maintenance dick. And especially you get some of these women, they got their own money, they got their own car. See, that's the thing that throws everything off. If women they making their own money, they got their own vehicle, they can pay their bills, all they need from you is some D and companionship. Like a lot of people keep talking about change of the game. Okay. Now, I'm gonna be real. I've said, no, the game ain't changed, because that's how it's always been. But then, of course, I had to learn. Everybody didn't see it that way. And indeed, that's the biggest weakness in my book. I don't mind saying it. That's the biggest weakness, because it's from the perspective of a man who got the pussy for free. Because even when I had some money, was spending it on women. And I told y'all that. At first I said, yeah, I got a couple. Then I had to sit down and think about it. I was like, nah, the ones I spend money on, I ain't getting nothing. A kiss at best. A kiss at best. At best. The sex I was getting from women I didn't spend money on. And long term, too. Like, I had to think hard. Say, no, I ain't spend money. No, I ain't spend money on her. Shoot. You get some women with some money and shit, they'll pay. See, a lot of guys got to get out that mindset. See, once you get out that mindset, then you interact. See, here's the issue. If you coming at the woman with your wallet in your hand, you automatically saying Mark. And that's how she going to treat you. And here's something with women. Even if they wouldn't take money from you normally, they'll still take it. But they going to look at you differently. They ain't going to take you seriously. And they'll keep that shit stretched out. Because I remember that I knew this one woman. She always had this guy just giving her money, but she never had sex with him. And I said, look, that dude's giving all his money to you. Why don't you break him off something? Then she was like, Rom, if I did that, he ain't gonna spend money on me anymore. Because remember, I know a lot of women. I know sugar babies, acculturated prostitutes, women just straight playing men. Just straight playing them. That's how I avoided being played on a major basis. Like I said, it gets some minor shit I let go just to watch it what they doing. But let's put it like this. No woman has ever played me for money. Never. I'll go into a lie detector test. Find a psychologist, FBI profile, or whatever, they'll tell you. Time to read my body language. Because, like I said, until recently, I ain't really have it like that. There were times in my life I couldn't pay attention. I had shit. And then the other times, man, even, I had just enough money just to, keep bills paid on time. Seriously, I have a lot of discretionary income. Because, even when I was working in the government, shit, government workers don't make money like that. Unless they high grade. I wasn't high grade, so. So, And when I say high grade, I mean high up there. They run their whole departments and shit. Okay? Everybody else just making enough money. But still getting to play. Women still coming by. Still knocking on the door. Yeah. Still getting it. Shit, there were times I ever felt bad a couple times. I'd be like, oh shit, she doing all this. Let me at least pay for the movie. They'd be like, nope, stop. They break out the money. Some even gave me money. Oh Lord. Because they want the D. And I know plenty of other men, they can attest to this. Now here's the thing. Instead of guys trying to challenge that or try to say, oh, this don't happen. No, first, like I said, it don't happen for you. Why don't y'all figure out with the men who are getting it like that? Instead of getting mad, listen. Shoot. I remember when I was in college, I wasn't getting played like that. I listened. I knew something, you know. Still had, you know, ain't no problem approaching anything like that, but I wasn't closing. I wasn't closing any deals, anything. What I do, I just hung out with the players. The guys that were getting some, and I just, shoot, I wouldn't even ask them a lot. I just pay attention to them. I pay attention to them, ask them a question here and there. They give me some stuff, you know. I was like, okay, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? You know, that's how I learned a lot. Just being around them and stuff. Just ask instead of fighting it or trying to challenge everything. Seriously, because you get a lot of guys that want to challenge shit for what, man? I'm telling you how to win. I'm telling you how to win. Because shoot, women will confirm what I'm saying. Women will co-sign it. But you get some guys, they don't want to listen to them or thinking. It's like, dude, that's your experience. I'm trying to tell you something different. You know? All I can talk is like, ultimately, I can just talk about what I've seen and what I know. If a woman wants you, she just wants you. But see, a lot of men, they come in with their wallets in their hands, and it's like, damn, you advertising trick me. You advertising. Because even when you get married, how many men have been married to some woman and they like took care of all the bills, had her in a nice house, took care of the bills, all of that stuff, but weren't giving any, you know? Then the woman still ready to cheat on. In fact, there was a funny ass clip from Nephew Tommy called The Marriage Counselor. It really, in that 4 minutes or so, it gave you so much game on really what women really be looking for. I mean, this dude was paying for everything, and she still wasn't satisfied. She ready to give Nephew Tommy some, you know? Because that's just a woman's nature. See, the one thing that the guys who are getting that shit for free, dude, they just tap into a woman's nature. Because the resources, especially in this day and age, everybody's like modern women, this and that. Modern women, like I said, I know several women under the age of 30, they already got houses. They either closing or whatever. Because I just know a lot of people, you know, they got their own house, so you can't hit them with that. They gainfully employed. You can't hit them with, oh, I got money. Only women who going to really go crazy over money are serious gold diggers. And then if you ain't a millionaire, they ain't going to fuck with you. If a serious gold digger, they're going for millionaires. And they're going to be in places where they're serious millionaires. Or very poor women who got some serious issues. Now, my thing is, why would you want that? Why would you want a poor woman who probably got some mental health issues? Yeah, they impressed, but they ain't impressed like they used to be. Because even the women with money now, this ain't saying they won't get with you if you got a bunch of money, but even then, they need to be on their level if they ain't feeling you sexually. In fact, what I call masked men in my book, Nice Guys and Players, that's kind of changed up. Women ain't even fucking with guys with money like they used to. Unless they trying to divest them of it. Seriously. And that's just a real change. And it's just a woman's nature. In fact, that Nephew Tommy thing, the marriage counselor, y'all just check it. Sit down and really think about the game given in there. You know? Just think about the game given in there. Because guys gonna keep doing stuff. And, you know, from my perspective, I'm just giving you what I've personally experienced up to this minute. Because even now, if I encounter any women, the first thing, they ain't like, oh, let's go to this place or this place or this place. They be like, just want to just talk. Shit. That's just a reality. So you got to ask yourself, okay, what you really want to do? And it is, I mean, it just is what it is, y'all. I mean, you know. And it could be a bigger, and I'm giving y'all, really, if you think about it, I want y'all to think about something, right? All right. If that's been my, like anybody's philosophy, it's always going to be based on their own personal experience. And then they sharing it, right? So if I'm saying I haven't paid for any pussy in life, or, you know, or got with a woman in exchange for how much money I'm spending, if I'm telling you that, apparently everything I talk about is along those lines. Now, is it, now some people will say, well, it's hard. No, if you actually do what the fuck I say do. I know, please. I mean, I know some dudes now. I know some dudes right now. The woman's spending more money on them. And they've been in long relationships. Shit. You know? I know some dudes now, right now. So it's like, okay, but what they giving? They're giving a D. They're giving a D, companionship. Because women, I don't care how much money they get, how educated they get, they need that from a man. All right? So, now I know some people going to hear it, they still going to have some arguments, but dude, ask yourself what you want to do. Do you want a woman to actually like you for you? Or do you want your future in women dealing with how much money's in your pocket? Because here's the thing with money. It's like that crypto guy. How much he lose overnight? Several billion? Money comes and goes. But you want that woman going to want to roll with you no matter what. Because when you're in the bedroom, y'all both butt naked. And then you want that woman, y'all can just sit somewhere and talk. And you ain't going on a date all the time. Because that's the woman going to have your back. That's the woman who's going to, you want that type of woman who going to just like you. She just want to be around you. It ain't about how much money you making. Because that woman, if it's about the money, all right, immediately don't take her seriously. If that's the primary thing. And even in a long-term relationship, people will say, well, you know, you gotta have that money and stuff. Yeah, but are you spending it on her, or are you taking care of bills? Because, see, the main thing is when guys are spending money on the woman and satisfying her needs, her personal needs. But if y'all together and stuff, I mean, you still got, I mean, everything you spending money on, you still need a place to, you still want a car, right? You still want a place to lay your head. That's benefiting you. And if she good, with it, hey, she can share in the benefit, but that's still you. You get a house in your name, you ain't buying that house for her. You buying it for yourself. You get that. If you get her a car, that's so you don't have to be driving her every place. So it's benefiting you. And see, here's the thing too. When it comes down to that, like if it come down to a case, she's only dealing with you for money, double back home one day. I ain't even gonna say the joke part. I want you to just think about that. Because a big part of how I know about women, I just know how they cheat. That's when you see that's when you really see who she really wants to be with. Because they'll get the man with money and paying for everything, but like I was saying earlier, how often has a guy paid for everything, provided, been that good guy, and she cheat with some motherfucker who don't have shit? Just turns on sexually. That's the only thing he bringing to the table. Which one you want to be? Now, if you want to, now it's good if you both, but remember, like I always say, you want to make the money so you live well. You ain't making it to impress women. Shit, I'll just be straight up. I make a lot of money, but the average woman, they see me around, I got sweats on and shit. I look like just a blue collar dude. And if they looking at me trying to assess, oh, he making this money, I don't want him. I don't trust him. You know? Or if a woman meets, she acting funky, but then she find out what I do, and she get all friendly. I'm like, later. That's one of the few times I'll be mean to a woman. Because why would you want that? You want somebody who wants you for you, who want to ride and die with you. Because if they ain't riding and dying with you, if they ain't feeling you, they can't sit and have that conversation. They even beyond sex. If they can't sit and have that conversation with you and you feel good in just in each other's presence, it's useless. That's why a lot of dudes, a lot of men got that woman, and it really wasn't about him, it was about the money. And there's some women who do that. They'll get up there, get that money. They'll get that guy. He's spending the money, and they'll get the lifestyle, but then they'll find a way not to fuck him. Or at best, they'll get a baby. And even then, I strongly suggest a man get a paternity test. I strongly suggest that shit. You know, because that's what 30% of the ones they actually test, and there's a lot of guys probably lying to themselves and saying, you know, saying this baby that don't look shit like them, you know, is theirs. Is that what you want? Now, if that woman ain't feeling you, if she ain't feeling you deep in her spirit, it ain't worth it. It really ain't. So that's one thing I'll say. Hey, that's one thing I've had. The women who dealt with me, they really dealt with me. They dealt with me. You know? Because like I said, a significant number. They were making way more money. Significant number. You know? Shit, they were paying for shit. And I had no problems with it because I kept my money in my pocket. Because even the ones I was making more money, definitely making more money than, still kept they just wanted to spend the time. And like I said, somebody tried to say, oh, there's a payment. Well, she paying the same thing. And she spending her time with you. Seriously. So instead of trying to fight against it, I'm trying to tell you how to win. So anyway, though, it is. And like I said, it's a small group, but it got room for entry. It got room for entry. And really, I'm gonna tell you what, with these women, from the women's point of view, ultimately that's what they want. They want that companionship. They want that sex, they want that companionship. Because increasingly there's a lot of women now, they ain't pressed about the money because they like, you know, because a guy got to work a whole lot of hours for the money. So they ain't going for that guy just because he got money. Now, if they can work it out, they can still see each other and shit. Okay, on a regular basis. But the only thing, shit, they just want that man's time. And like I said, he ain't paying. What else he going to do? I'm going to emphasize that again. I might just do another video because every time I have that money thing, everybody says, well, you spending your time. Well, what else were you going to do? You want to go play video games when you got some woman trying to back that shit up? Use some common sense. You want the pussy, right? What do you think? You know, it'd be different if you spending time with her and you ain't getting no pussy. Now, shit, you getting played. But you spending time with her, she cooking a meal, she on her damn knees sucking your fucking dick. Shit, how's that bad? And she spending her time doing that with you. She could be with somebody else. She could be doing some other shit. So, like, throw that argument out. Throw that shit out. It's only you spending your time if you ain't getting nothing out of it. If you ain't getting something out of it, you spending time with the woman, you ain't getting something out of it, then you need to question some other shit. Because biggest problem, a lot of guys still coming from a non-select perspective. I'm seeing all these seagulls around. Gotta watch them. Anyway, I remember one time I'm walking in the parking lot of a grocery store eating a pastry and shit. They were coming for me. They don't give a fuck. But anyway, though, it's a small world of men who get it like that. But you got room for expansion, man. You know, and that's what I share. I share the philosophy of how to do so. And if you're still not down for it, well, don't bother coming on here. All right? So anyway, that's all I got, y'all. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.